What's going on, Pokemon Go trainers? Welcome to episode 79 of Lured Up, a podcast where we take Pokemon Go way more seriously than we do ourselves. Today, Sunday, May 19th, 2019, I'm your host, Ken Pescator, joined by only Adam Tuttle today, no Melissa. Melissa,
oh, man.
Community Day officially kicked her ass to the point where she's on her ass right now.
Yeah, this one was hot.
But Adam and I are not alone. We are joined by Pope Dave. Dave, what's up?
Hey, how are you guys doing?
Welcome
very good.
to the show.
Fantastic.
I'm so excited to have you on, man, because when we first started this show and we first started trying to get guests on the show, you were one of the first people I had in mind. And I remember talking prior to GoFest last year, wanting to get you on. So I'm so happy this has finally come through. And yeah, man, welcome to the show. Thank you so very much for coming on.
I sincerely appreciate that. It's a pleasure to be here, and I love what you guys do. It's great work.
Awesome. All right, a little housekeeping really quick before we get to know Dave. This podcast is powered by Patreon. Please check ours out over at patreon.com/gottawatchemall. You can support this show for as little as $1 a month. And that $1 will get you access to our patron exclusive Discord, which is a fantastic place filled with fantastic people. And I want to give a huge shout to our show supporter tier patrons, Brittany J, Matt, M. Pitts, Terry, David, Chris, Sydney, Bacon L, The Noise, Harry, PokeNavBot, Purple Pancakes, and Dem Gears Be Bangin'. Thank you guys so incredibly much. Huge shout out also to our executive producer, Paul Bhatt, who competed in Philadelphia Regionals this weekend, did pretty well. And I want to give an extra special thanks to Jessica for stepping up from the show supporter tier to become the first member of our Elite Four Patreon tier. Holy shit, Jessica, thank you so very much.
Thanks, Jessica.
Your support is greatly, greatly appreciated, and we're going to be able to do some pretty amazing things due to the support of by you and everyone else that is part of the Patreon family. All right, on today's show, we're going to get to know Pope Dave. After the interview, we'll dig into Torchic Community Day. That was just a couple hours ago. There was a massive, massive Sinnoh update. We're going to unpack the Extraordinary Raid Week triple event that's coming up, and tons and tons and tons of miscellaneous news. A lot of stuff to cover this week. But first, Pope Dave, how are you, man? Why don't you introduce yourself? Let our community know who you are, where you're from, what you do, and then we'll start unpacking from there. How are you?
I'm great, man. I mean, once again, it's a pleasure to be here. I appreciate you guys having me on. I'm Dave, Pope Dave. Had the name for a while. People always ask me where I got Pope from, and to be 100% honest, it was just something I was watching on the History Channel years ago and kind of liked it, so it stuck with me. So
nice.
Not too crazy of a story, but people ask.
Hey, it works. If it works, it works.
Yeah, I should come up with something better, to be honest.
You've come too far.
I know it's overdue. It's overdue. But yeah, I mean, I'm a content creator. I'm a little bit of kind of like the black sheep, I guess you could say. I'm a Twitch live streamer. I've been doing that since Pokemon Go pretty much released. At the time, right before Pogo released, I was honestly streaming Clash of Clans. So I guess you could say that I'm a mobile content creator. But that game really wasn't cutting it for me anymore. Pogo hit, and I was like, this is my calling. I love Pokemon. I started playing Pokemon with Pokemon Blue on my Game Boy Color.
Oh, yeah.
Back in the day.
I knew it. Yep. Go ahead. Adam's putting another notch on his side of the fence right now, of course. Pokemon Blue.
It's so good. It's just in my blood. So it was my calling, and since then I've been streaming it on Twitch, and just very recently started hopping over to the YouTube side of things and trying to explore the recorded side, not so much the live side.
Awesome. Yeah, that's definitely something I want to dig into in a bit. And it's great to hear that you have a long-standing history with the franchise. Now, I go either way. We'll have guests on that say, yes, this is, I've born and bred, got Pokemon Blue and have played it through the generations. That makes me very happy. That gets me really excited. But then also when I hear people say, I have no history with this game and I just started with the Pokemon franchise with Go, I get equally as excited. So it's always cool to hear that kind of juxtaposition between the different creators in this space, whether they have a long-standing relationship with the franchise or are brand new, but always in that little backdoor kind of thing, like, oh yes, another lifer, another long-term player that That's definitely awesome. So that's really good to hear. So what team, let's get the basics out of the way. What team are you on? Who's your favorite Pokemon? What's your favorite way to play this game?
Right on. So I initially started off on Team Mystic, and then as soon as the team change was released, the day it was released, I decided to go to Instinct.
Woo!
And the reason why,
welcoming with open arms.
It's great to be on Instinct. It's a great team. I really enjoy it. But the reason why I decided to do that was I noticed that the majority of people in our area were on Mystic, and I wanted to switch it up a little bit. So that's what I did, and oh my god, that first day, I went to appraise a Pokemon, and I was like, what did I just read?
What does it mean?
I don't even know what it just told me.
It says it's the battle with the best of them, so you know it's good. Versus it exceeds my calculation.
I was so confused. I was so lost. But it was exciting. It was kind of like a fresh start, if you will, on one part of the game.
Yeah, no, when the team medallion came out, it was really cool to see the dynamic that it brought to social media of, people cracking jokes and people, been saying that they've been waiting for this forever. It's like, oh man, I only joined Mystic because I like blue. I didn't know that what this team was all about. So yeah, I was shocked to see how many people actually went to Instinct. Like the original thing was, oh my God, people are going to leave Instinct and go to the bigger teams so they can have more support. But it seems that more people actually migrated over to Instinct, which is pretty cool because that's like, it's building another team up. It's building it up, and it is like starting a new chapter, starting from scratch. So that's really cool, man.
Right. And I've always thought, just real quick, that what if maybe they were to add a fourth team? Because if I'm not mistaken, aren't the teams based on the original starters? So you would have like Mystic would be Squirtle, you would have Valor as Charmander, and then technically one of the originals was Pokemon Yellow, right?
Sure.
Yeah, but where's the grass legendary bird?
Well, it doesn't have to be the bird. It could be Bulbasaur. Yeah,
Bulbasaur right
the
there.
bird gets to be Bulbasaur.
Yeah.
I guess if you don't join a team, it's kind of like green-ish, the color in game.
Mash it all up. But people would always saying like, oh man, if there was a green team, I would have just joined green because I think green is a cool color. So
That's honestly my only reason I would do it.
Well, it would be nice if they dropped it, soon, because then anybody that changed the medallion has to wait. And then
but then they'd have to say like they give you a free pass to reset your 1 year cooldown if you did want to give them another $10 to switch over.
Well, no, that's
green.
when they decide that they want it. They're like going low on funds. They're just like, hey guys, we introduced a new team. Buy that medallion. It's only $10.
Before you know it, 2022, we're gonna have 7 different teams.
Yes. It's like, why does this medallion cost $20 now?
Right. Gym clusters will look like a rainbow. We'll have so many colors everywhere.
Man, that'd be awesome. Now, I like the team dynamic. I just wish they would have had some kind of buff that would associate with each team to give it a little bit more of a little bit more of a reason to pick a team outside of the color or the trainer or association to the legendary or something like that. If the Valor would get a small attack buff and Mystic would get, something like a better defense, or an Instinct would, have something that, they eat glue better than everyone else. But it's I'm sorry, man. I always got to stick in the glue joke whenever Instinct comes up the top. I've been busting Adam's balls. Dude, I've been busting Adam's balls for like 3 years now.
It was only one time.
I never stop. But all right,
we can drink it faster than anybody else. I promise.
Exactly. Take it down. All right. I want to talk about Twitch here because you even said it yourself. You're kind of the black sheep. And I think that what really attracted me to your content was, one, it was on a different platform. And I had a ton of experience watching live streaming of video games because I come from the first person shooter space years ago. The Tom Clancy Rainbow Six, Ghost Recon, that was my world back in the day. Justin TV, all that stuff years and years and years and years ago. So when Twitch really started gaining momentum, I would go there to watch my shooters. I would go there to watch my Tom Clancy stuff and all that, and Halo and all that good stuff. Now, when Pokemon, the trading card game, because Adam and I are both Pokemon trading card players as well. So with the trading card game, I would find the trading card game online, also on Twitch, and I would spend time engaging with the Pokemon franchise on Twitch, but not Pokemon Go. Right. And then when I found you, I said, holy shit, this is totally different. And I'm like, how the hell is he doing this? This is not like he's sitting in front of a desktop. He's not just using OBS to stream, capture his phone right in front of the machine and just pushing it live. You're out there on foot, making this happen and streaming. So really what I wanted to talk about was what attracted you to Twitch initially over YouTube, and what were the challenges, that barrier to entry? Because it had to be way harder to be a startup on Twitch than it would be to be on YouTube.
Right. So that's a great question. So just going back to how I initially, how I initially got started on Twitch, at the time I was actually playing World of Warcraft. And I remember that I needed help with the game at a certain point. I turned to YouTube, looked at a video, and it seemed like it was a live TV show, but for gaming. I had never heard of Twitch at that time, and I thought that was so interesting. So that led me to discover Twitch. And then the more I browsed through Twitch's website and looked at all the different games they were streaming, I saw that one of the games on their site was Clash of Clans, that other mobile game I was playing. And I checked it out, and I was like, oh my God, like all these guys suck. And I was like, that guy's doing it wrong. I looked at another stream. I was like, oh, this guy, like, no, just, and I was like, I could do it better than all these guys. And I looked at, some of their stuff, and it just seemed so, I don't know, like you could be your own boss, and it just seemed interesting. And I loved gaming, and people always tell you, do what you love, and then it's not work. So why not? So I looked into it, and that's how I went for it. And then did a lot of mobile gaming. I still had a 9-to-5 for a long time when I got started off on Twitch, because you can't just get started off and just make $1 million, and not $1 million, but you can't make a living off of it just in one night. It takes a long time to build a community, but eventually it got to the point where I could have that be like my full-time thing. And then once Pokemon Go came out, that's when I really had to get creative with it, because I knew that this is a game that requires you to get outside, and my experience was just sitting on my ass and staring at a camera all day.
Right. Sure.
As you said, that's a lot easier to set up. You have all the OBS and everything. So would you like to know what I normally use for my setup when I walk around?
Yes, because
I've seen it, and it looks like a cluster.
Why don't you explain what was it like when you first started versus what it's like now? Because I'm a tech nerd, and I'm super intrigued by all this, and this is something that I want to do, and it's like I know that it's beyond my scope of understanding. So why don't you explain what was it like when you first started? Because I remember seeing people trying to do this, and they had book bags with open laptops. They couldn't close the lid on their laptop. They had to keep it open. What was it like when you first started versus what it's like now?
Oh man. So when I first started, it was as basic as it could be. It was just cut and dry, plain and simple. Like I just knew that I had to somehow get my game screen recorded and uploaded. And that was it. So all I did was get an iPad. I got one of those iPads with the cellular data because I wanted the biggest screen possible that I could record. And then I got one of my cell phones and I strapped it to my chest with a little mount, and I would just run around and record that, and that was directly uploading to Twitch. So it was as basic as it could possibly be in the beginning, but it still got the job done. People could see the screen, but I knew that could only last for so long. I wanted to be able to get that screen perfectly, nicely uploaded there.
Natively up there, yep.
Yeah, it's the better word. So that took a lot more research. I started looking into screen recording software and other things like that. And to be 100% honest, it definitely wasn't just myself that figured it all out. It was a group of us that were talking and shooting ideas back and forth. At the time, Twitch didn't really have the IRL, if you know what that is, in real life category where people are actually outside.
Right.
So there just wasn't really any sort of information on how to be streaming while you're walking around outside and not have issues. And on top of that, get your phone screen uploaded. So we just kind of shot some ideas back and forth, and then came up with the idea of getting apps that can send everything back to your PC, and then the PC's uploading it, to OBS and then to Twitch.
Right.
So that's what we use now. So I have one phone now that I'm calling my own computer back home on Skype with one of the phones, and that's going directly to OBS. So that's how I get the camera on there. And then for the game, I use an app called Mobizen. It's about $3 a month, and it wirelessly sends my phone screen back to my PC. And once again, I just capture that and upload it to OBS. And then that's all live.
That's awesome. And are you playing on iOS or Android?
So it does have to be Android.
Right.
You could figure it out with iOS, but it gets very complicated at that point.
Yeah, I know that a lot of the challenges that when I was researching it, where if you were on iOS, you're pretty much fucked. Like you just couldn't make it work without really bending the rules or really manipulating stuff to the point where you have layers upon layers of stuff happening, and just, more moving parts means more potential failure and more challenges.
Exactly.
So, I remember when Ken was messaging me back and forth, just trying to be like, dude, what can we use to record our screen?
we were like, and it was like, there was thing like, I'll hold this phone in front of that phone. Like, I don't care what I got to do. Like, I just want to do this right. And there was a couple people on Twitch that were doing it, and being able to push that shit back to your home computer, have a nice overlay, plug all the different, windows that you're capturing on the PC in there and upload it as one neat and tidy package was super intriguing. And, watching your streams now, it's like, man, this is, it looks as if you might as well just be in front of your machine. You know what I mean? So it's like, it's so clean. And that's one of the things that's super attractive to watching Pokemon Go on Twitch. That's outside of just, hey, I'm just going to capture my screen on, DU recorder or, the native YouTube app with a, thumbnail sized face cam or something like that. That's really that difference, that line in the sand of saying, hey, there's a whole setup involved here. And, going in that direction was really what attracted me to say, like, oh, this is fucking cool. Like, this is some really cool stuff here. And, hearing how it all works is very intriguing. So that's really cool, man. That's really awesome.
Thank you. I really appreciate that. I love it.
So what is the scene like on Twitch for Pokemon Go? Like, I know that with the ability now with DU recorder, especially, pick up a lot of popularity, a lot of steam, and you can integrate with Twitch on there. But as far as outside of just portrait mode, screen capture pushing, are there a lot of people out there that are kind of doing it a little bit differently? And I got to say, man, the dog cam is game changer, bro. That's like my son, I got a 10-year-old son. That's his favorite shit. He's just like, he's like, if you're watching Pope Dave, you better call me when the dog is on screen. And it's like, he makes me call into the room. You know what I mean? It's like, so it's like, things like that are so freaking cool. And that's just part of the uniqueness of your stilo, what you're doing there. So that's really cool. But like, I don't think there's that many people. Like the Pokemon Go community on Twitch isn't that voluminous, right? There's not that many people doing it, right?
Right. So yeah, it's definitely a very close-knit community on Twitch, and I think there's very good reason for that. I would say there's decent handful of consistent streamers that do Pokemon Go on Twitch, but I really don't see a whole lot of growth potential, unfortunately, for Twitch, because Pokemon Go, it just does a lot better on YouTube due to the fact that if you want to look something up or if you need some quick information on it, people 99 out of 100 times will think YouTube, if you want to look something up for it. They're not going to think, let me go check out to see if someone's streaming it and then ask them. That's just kind of the way it is, I think, with looking up a lot of different things. Not a lot of people would turn to Twitch for like an information type deal. Twitch is, in my opinion, a little bit more of like community-based type stuff,
Yeah, well, I mean, YouTube is the number 2 search engine. You know what I mean? So it's like outside of Google proper, and the irony there of Google, with, and their relationship with Twitch, but I mean, with their relationship with YouTube, it's YouTube is the number 2 search engine in the world. So it's become beyond an entertainment source. This is a go-to informational resource. So right. It just happens to deliver that information in an entertainment, package, which is very works out really well for creators, because at the same time as, they say, hey, I could deliver this message, and there's all these other benefits like building a brand and making a living and all that good stuff. So it's, that's a whole nother dynamic that you don't get on Twitch. And again, Twitch is way more of a niche destination than YouTube. So, going after Twitch and building on Twitch, I know for a fact, because I have a lot of friends that are necessarily in the Pokemon space, but do a lot of stuff on Twitch. And, I see the challenges, and then speaking with YouTube creators through this platform, the challenges are completely different from platform to platform. So
absolutely.
That's what, is really intriguing to me, because we've had a shit ton of YouTubers on here, but no one that's really experienced in the Twitch space. So that's why I really, really wanted to get you on here, because it's very intriguing to me.
I mean, I'd love to tell you all about it. It's honestly very weird starting to step into the YouTube game now, coming from Twitch. I was stupid to assume, but I thought, hey, I've been in front of a camera already. The only difference is, instead of just kind of reading a chat, I'll have to somewhat have some stuff written up, or some sort of script I can read off, or just something I can go off a plan when I'm doing my YouTube content. It's nowhere near as simple or easy as I thought it was going to be. And it's not even just coming up with what I want to do for the content. It's, recording everything and then editing. I don't know anything about video editing, so I'm sitting there like a dumbass, just looking up, once again, YouTube videos on how to do all this stuff. I'm not going to Twitch for this stuff. So.
Yeah, I've been there.
Yeah, so it's so much. There's so much to it, and it really just gives me that much more respect for the guys that are killing it on YouTube in the Pogo community.
No, it was funny, man. I remember watching your Twitter when you were making some of your first YouTube videos, and it's like you're walking through oh my God, the editing process. I just got done filming for X amount of hours. Now I got to edit. Right. It was so funny seeing that. But yeah, that's the same thing with podcasts. I mean, we can record a podcast in an hour, and it's like, man, I still got 5 hours ahead of me before this thing goes live. It's like there's so much post-production and so much work. We're actually, this another unique thing. We're actually recording this podcast right now via Google Hangout. So typically we would record 3 individual tracks, and then I would mix it all together and sync it and do individual post-production on 3 separate tracks. Dave is actually traveling right now, so we're recording this on a Google Hangout, which for me means I don't have to mix shit. So I'm really excited.
It's a win-win.
Dude, it's so great. And it's like when I heard the quality of your audio track, I was like, oh my goodness, this actually sounds really good. So if it does sound any different than our show normally sounds, that's why we're recording this on Google Hangout. But again, it's not gonna be neither here nor there. Now, tell me about Noble, because this is something that I kind of noticed in passing when I was on your on your Twitter profile. And I say, gamer for Noble. And then I kind of fell down this rabbit hole researching them. Tell us what that whole world is about and how you got set up with that, because that's a whole nother rabbit hole that I think a lot of our community members would enjoy kind of falling down. So
Noble is an esports organization. I guess just a quick summary of an esports organization. I'm not really the professional to be speaking directly on, I guess, what they exactly entail, because there's a lot in them nowadays. But it's just basically an organization based upon gaming that can consist of professional gamers in a competitive environment, or even just like a more content creation based environment. But Noble is, like I said, an esports organization. I was kind of looking for a way to join some sort of community or some sort of organization or group that I could help out, and then in turn could kind of help me out. I'm all about kind of just like, you scratch my back, I scratch your back type deal. And it could never hurt, in my opinion. I'd never really knew what I could get out of it, and I luckily had a friend that was very involved in working with esports organizations, and she explained a good amount to me and then gave me some options, and I looked into them, and Noble seemed like a very cool, down-to-earth organization to be a part of, and I talked to them and was able to join, and I am one of their content creators, basically. So I'm not on their professional gaming side per se. Like, I'm not at an H1Z1 tournament, or I'm not at a Apex Legends tournament. No, that's not me. But what I do is basically rep them, do a lot of promoting for them. Anytime we're doing like charity stuff, they like to do work for organizations like Game Changer. It's a really, I don't know how, I'm kind of like stumbling over my words here, but it's a great group to be a part of. And I'm sorry if I'm a little lost for words here.
No, that's. I mean, it's intriguing to me because this is not something that we typically see in the Pokemon Go world, or even in the Pokemon world at large. Like I said, Adam and I have a lot of experience in the TCG space, not much in the VGC at all. But even on the TCG side of things, there's creators that are sponsored, but typically not from an esports perspective, even if it is just a content creation segment of an esports organization. So it's really cool to have you're kind of this ambassador for the game in this space, because there's no one else really like doing what you're doing there. So that's great, man. That's really cool.
Thank you. I appreciate that. That's honestly what I was trying to kind of segue into, but it's just hard to kind of explain. I don't know. I don't really know of many other Pokemon esports members, I guess you could say. Like, I don't know the correct term for it. So I don't really know, honestly, how to describe my role 100% as from the Pokemon perspective, but from the content creator perspective, I mean, it's just basically along the lines of, like, I love being a part of their brand. I love being a part of Noble. I love wearing their stuff, and I'm going to help them out, so they're going to help me out. But as far as the Pokemon stuff goes, like, I'm not really part of a professional Pokemon team.
Yeah, but it's still the affiliation alone, the affiliation proper is what is really cool, because it does lend itself to a significant level of credibility and bring you in front of a new audience and people that may have never experienced Pokemon or Pokemon Go. Your market share just skyrockets, because you're getting in front of these new audiences, and you're kind of breaking barriers down, because you're doing new things. It's so new and it's so fresh that it is hard to explain. It is hard to describe, because this is some new shit here, which is really cool, man, because that's it's just you're breaking new ground, and as a fan, I couldn't think of a better creator to do it, because the energy that you bring and the style of content that you're creating is very representative of real life foot soldier shit of being out there and playing this game on a daily basis. And it's not like the rainbows and butterflies that you could potentially see on YouTube of what this game is like.
Man.
It's the real life shit. And I could definitely appreciate that, and would want that out of a representative for this game and for this brand to be out there, breaking ground and mixing it up with other gamers. So that's really cool.
Thank you. Yeah, it's funny you say that, like, kind of as a warrior. It's a lot of the stuff you'll see on YouTube. I'm not going to say names. I have respect for everybody, but a lot of the stuff you'll see obviously has been edited. So anything that may have been negative that could have happened, or anything that was sketchy, it's probably going to be edited out. Whereas on a live stream, what's happening is happening, and I can't do anything about it. So with that being said, there's definitely been quite a few times on stream where it was just like, did that just happen? Like,
shit, I can't edit that out.
Right. Like, people totaling their cars, or for me getting assaulted on stream, like the homeless guy punching me in the face at the pier. Like, I've just the Santa Monica Pier late at night. I'm sorry if parents are watching this. That place is littered with crackheads at night, so they're not the best people to deal with. But Yeah, just lots of stories, man. That's honestly one of the best things I love about live streaming. It's just you never know what's gonna happen, and Pokemon Go just kind of takes you on that adventure. It's like I see this on the nearby. I gotta go over there. I've never been over there, so let's go over there.
That's awesome. Yeah, no, that's really cool, and that's got to be, with your transition over to YouTube, that's got to be so different, such a paradigm shift of culture, and like that. Like, what is your real vibe of streamed content versus produced content? Like, is it hard to maintain that balance? And do you ever find yourself doing things in one of those spaces that you're like, oh man, this just doesn't work over here, I have to keep that on the other side? Like, is there anything like that ever kind of, do you ever feel that at all? Like where something just doesn't feel right in one of those formats?
Absolutely. To be 100% honest, one of the things I'm struggling with the most is when I'm live streaming, it's easier for me to have natural hype. Like if I hatch something awesome or if I find a shiny, the natural hype is there. But since I'm not good yet with like recording on the YouTube side of things and stuff, I struggle to find moments where I'm on camera and I'm hype and I'm like getting excited. I just tend to be so monotonous the whole time. And it's almost hard for me to find those high energy moments because I almost feel like I'm having to script them.
Yeah,
they're not happening completely naturally. I don't know.
Yeah, well, you don't want that because the viewer can see that,
right? And that's
I
definitely don't want that. I that's not what I want. I want people to know that my content is me.
Well, that's like the thumbnail O face that is so popular on YouTube, like the you know what I mean? Like the it's like it's the funniest shit. And then we had JT Gilly on the show. And we were kind of going back and forth, and he's like, look, man, he goes, every time you see one of my ridiculous faces on a thumbnail, he goes, that's legit. That's a real thing. That's a screen cap from the video. He goes, that's not something that is produced or scripted, but you see that all the time. And it's like, you look at the thumbnails and you're like, come on, man. It's like, really, did someone just step on your toe or are you just genuinely happy? It's like, it's so funny, but shout out to JT Gilly because he was just like, bro, you can go frame by frame and find that shit in my video. He goes, that's legit. He goes, and that's something he's proud of because it's not very common in the space. But yeah, I totally feel that because like Adam said, the viewer will know. And they can, the transparency level when it comes to things like that is very evident. And you're going to be able to kind of, see through the bullshit a little bit when you're watching the content because we're the ones that are out there as trainers, as players. We know what it's like. And that's where people will typically have that connection to the stream because it's like, oh shit, I was just doing this today. This is just like what happened to me. And they can relate to those experiences. Sometimes the experiences you see on YouTube, it's like, this is like a fairy tale version of the game. Like, how do I can't achieve this. I can't do this, So it's like, yeah, I totally get that. And that's so interesting, man. I think that it's really cool that you're juggling both because it is such an incredible paradigm shift between those two where the vibe of each is a total juxtaposition of content creation. And, as a creator, that's got to be fantastic to kind of, have that repertoire of being able to have the these two bits of ammunition, like six shooters on each, and on your hip. It's like you got you're streaming on one and your produced content on the other. That's great, man. That makes for a very fulfilling channel and really cool balanced content. So that's awesome.
Thank you. It's honestly it's a struggle and it's gonna take a long time, but it's a work in progress. That's the most important thing.
Well, we're here for you, man. We're going to support you all the way. And
thank you.
And you still do both, correct? Like,
yeah, absolutely. So what I'm trying to do right now is primarily do my Pogo content on YouTube, and then any other thing I would do would be on Twitch. So I still do like pack openings sometimes for like TCG. If I do like old playthroughs, or even if I play a random game like Breath of the Wild or something, that'll all be on Twitch.
Oh, okay. Awesome.
Nice. Yeah, I think the diversification of content is very important too. And it's
depending on how you feel, you just pick whichever avenue you want.
I mean, that's what I love about streaming. There's so many different games and so many different things I can do, and you can even transition into other things in life. You never know. Like if I wanted to maybe go into radio or something, you never know.
Sure. No, well, Melissa, who's normally on the show, she loves the IRL channel on Twitch because we find like all this crazy stuff and cool artists and musicians.
Yeah.
And I mean, dude, I found myself, not too long ago watching this Korean dude make noodles in his bedroom. And I'm like, what the fuck am I doing here? But I was like, I was like, this is awesome. It's like, it's just like, that's what's so cool about Twitch. It's just like, it's really, really funny. And yeah, that's part of that diversification of, being able to literally flip channels. And it's like, you got this on, you got that on, and it goes from gaming to music to art to this to that. And it's like, yeah, it's a lot of fun to see all the different shit that's happening on Twitch right now. It's really, really cool.
Yeah, definitely.
All right, let's get real for a minute, because this is something that, when this happened, it was a moment for me as a fan where it hit so hard that I was rocked. So I want you to talk about the injury that you had, how it happened, and kind of that whole thing, because people from the YouTube space may not be aware of this. The podcast community may not be aware, but why don't you explain kind of what went down with your injury and how that's kind of shaped where you are now? Sure.
So it, like just any other story, it all began last year. All right, it was honestly, now that I come to think about it, it almost was just about exactly a year from today. It was Memorial Day weekend, I want to say.
Wow.
Last year, so it's exactly just about a year. But I was trying to put together a new streaming setup. If you guys have actually seen the one that A-Drive is using now, he's got like the new, he's got that Sony A300 cam that's in front of him.
Right.
And all that. I was trying to put something together very similar to that. And I decided to go test it out pretty far away from the house, because that's one of the things I wanted to do, was get farther away, go new places. So I decided to go to the zoo. I was about a little over an hour away from the house. So I wasn't close. And I had been walking that whole day, live streaming, playing Pogo. I went, like I said, to the zoo. It was a really fun day. Like, I never expected in a million years that something crazy would happen later. But so I guess just in a nutshell, I was pretty much done with the day. I was going to wind up the stream, and I was still live streaming, but I was on my way back to the car. And then as soon as I got back to the car, I was going to shut it down and then just go home. But on the way back to the truck, or my car, I kind of got lost. I didn't know the area. And I was walking down this pathway in this residential area, and I somehow ended up in these people's backyards, basically. I hate to say it, but I wasn't doing anything sketchy. And on top of that, I was wearing like the camera and I was live streaming. So God forbid someone was in their backyard or something. That would just be bad. That was just, I didn't want to be there. Right.
Right.
So I was like, I need to get the hell out of here right now. There was a fence directly on my left, and I could hear that cars were going by right there. So I was like, the road must be there. I'll just hop the fence and I'm out of here. So stupidly, I didn't look over the fence to see where I'm jumping to. And I was just like, I'm out of here. So I jumped over the fence, and where I was standing, in comparison to the fence on my left, it was about another like 4 or 5 feet further down on the other side of the fence. So it was like double the distance down, and I was not expecting that. I was wearing all my gear on my backpack, or in my backpack. Like I said, I'd been walking the whole day, so my feet were super tired, and it was just a recipe for disaster. I was wearing Converse, which don't have any soles. They're just like flat.
Yeah.
And I just immediately broke both my heels. The second I landed, I honestly didn't even think for a second that like anything was broken. I landed, I felt the shock in my feet, and I was like, damn, that hurt. Like I definitely felt it, but I was like, I'm good. I even think I said that. I was like, we're good. But as soon as I tried to stand up, the best way I could describe it is if my feet were chopped off at the ankles. It was like trying to stand up on just your ankles. There was like no feet there. There was no support. There was nothing. And that's because like the bottom of my foot was just gone. So that's when I knew I had an issue, that I couldn't get up. I couldn't stand. And that's when I also told the streamer, like, guys, I think we have a problem. I got to shut it down. So I shut it down at that point and called 911. Because I was screwed. There was like a life alert moment, like help, I've fallen and I can't get up.
Yeah, man.
Don't know where I am, So another shitty part about it is it actually took them like about a half hour to get to me because I didn't know where I was. And I kind of had to play like a hot and cold thing with the operator, the 911 operator. Like, yes, I hear the sirens getting closer. They're getting farther.
Oh my God, man.
It was not good. They knew like generally where I was, but they couldn't figure out exactly where I was. So that was shitty, but I wasn't even feeling anything, honestly. Like up until even when I was at the hospital after the x-rays, I didn't feel anything. I think that was just the adrenaline.
Sure.
It was just flowing at that point. But later that night, I remember I was being stubborn as hell. I was just like, I just want to go home. I was pissed off. Yeah, I just went home, and that's when it hit real hard. Oh, man. I even told them at the hospital, I was like, I don't want any pain pills or anything. They wanted me to go for a second x-ray. I said, yeah, whatever. But that night was just horrible. I ended up having to actually go back to the emergency room that night because I was in so much pain. I went into shock, and then I was like shaking and sweating and not good times. So
yeah. And when did you make that stream, the I fucked up stream?
Are you talking about the video that was put together?
Yeah,
like
the video.
Oh my God. So that was actually made by my buddy Theo, the other section. He's made quite a few meme videos, but he put that together, I want to say, maybe like a month or two after I had fallen. He always takes my best moments and really glorifies them.
Hey, what are friends for, right?
Yeah, right, for real.
Thanks,
Honestly,
bro.
I got a crack out of it. I think the first time I watched it, I was still in the wheelchair, and I was like crying. I was laughing so hard. It was amazing.
But yeah, no, I remember when the video came of you kind of explaining what was going on, I was fucked up. I was like, it was bizarre for me because I'm ever since my son was born, I'm an emotional wreck about everything. Like I just Detective Pikachu cried 3 times, like a fucking mess. That's just me,
Yeah.
When the hobbits reached Erebor in the Hobbit movie, fucking wrecked. That doesn't matter. Like I'm just a mess like that. So I'm watching this video and I was rocked. I was like really fucked up and I couldn't believe it. Like it hit home so incredible to me because what makes content creation in this space so dynamic is the way you feel so associated with the people that you're watching. And I went from watching you every day to being in a position where I was like, oh my God, did I just lose my favorite creator? Did I just lose my go-to source of gameplay here? And it hit me so freaking hard that it was very emotional. And I mean, and it was like, I got to give it to you for getting ahead of it and getting out there and kind of explaining what had happened in a way that was so brutally authentic. Because
I appreciate that.
Dude, man, it was, I felt for you so much and it was pretty wild. And then I remember GoFest last year, seeing you in, scooter mode. And I was like, dude, this guy's fucking resilience is insane.
Thank you,
I was like,
keep going. That says a lot.
That
right
was
there.
a month after, exactly a month after I'd gotten surgery. I had to get 9 pins and a clamp in my right foot. I was like, I'm not stopping. I have to get to GoFest, and I'm not going to miss the good Pokemon.
Yeah,
So
man.
I went through that whole process, and real funny, quick story. My freaking scooter, it was like 2:30 in the afternoon at GoFest, and because I was being a dumbass, I was like driving over all the dirt and like riding up the grass and like, like imagine some kid like allowed to take his grandpa's scooter around. He's gonna freaking drive that thing like he stole it or something, So I was doing the same damn thing. I was driving like an asshole, and then the fucking scooter dies in the middle of this giant grass area. It just runs out of battery. It's beeping at me. I'm like, oh no! Like I can't walk, and I have a dead scooter, and I'm playing Pokemon. And, like, this sucks.
You're like, assist. I need somebody to push me. Let's do this.
SOS. Like
it was like a jackass moment. Like, oh my God.
Almost turned into another life alert moment. Yeah. I was like, God,
where's my necklace? I need the necklace with the button.
Yeah. For real.
And you had help though, right? People helped you, right?
Yeah. So luckily I had a friend with me there. It was actually a she. So I wasn't expecting her to push me and the thing off. But luckily, a couple of other really nice guys came over and pushed me to the street, and we got a pickup and got out of there.
Just found a hill, push you a little bit. See you later.
Right? Shove it in neutral and give me a kick and wave me goodbye.
Oh man. Well, it's incredible the resiliency you had back then, and it's amazing to see the journey since then, because coming from a game that is dependent on being out there, a game that requires you to be out and about, and being in a stream space that requires you to do this in that fashion, man, it was exceptionally inspiring. And, thank you so much for not giving up. Thank you so much for pushing through, because it was exceptionally inspiring. I felt I'm still inspired from that journey you took, man, because that was pretty amazing to see. And, how you took pretty much the world's most unfortunate scenario, and we're able to turn that shit around in such quick time and make the best out of it, man. It was really fucking cool.
Thank you. I really appreciate that.
Yeah, hell yeah. All right, we got a community question here. This is coming from King IV. King IV is a good friend of ours. Loves, we put a Twitter thing up when we have guests on, and he always writes some fantastic questions, and this is kind of relevant to the conversations we've had so far today. He says, Poke Dave, I love your energy that you bring to your content. A few questions. How do you contrast Twitch versus YouTube from a Pogo content creator perspective? I see Fortnite, League, and other games blow up on Twitch. Do you think that this is something Pogo can do, especially with PvP? So how does PvP fit into your scope of Pokemon Go? And do you think that PvP could be something that works on Twitch?
That's a great question. To be 100% honest, as much as I love Pokemon and it's been a part of me since the 90s, I still to this day don't know all my super effective types and all that stuff. Okay, I'm just gonna throw that out there.
Okay, I'm right there with you.
So when it comes to PvP, I'm like, I love my Lapras. I love Blissey because I'm gonna troll the shit out of you.
Yeah.
And then I'm just gonna bring this other one. And it's like, I don't know what I'm using or what I should, but I just basically do it for fun. I could honestly never succeed. I would have to do a lot of studying. In regards to PvP on Twitch, I actually think there's a really strong potential, because that's something that's hype, it's live, it's in the moment. It's just kind of like watching any other professional sports game, or even like esports. That has a perfect place on Twitch. I think that would be a great place, and I've already helped a couple people get their own kind of community-based PvP stuff up and on the internet, which I'm really excited for. But
see, when you were talking about Noble, I was like, man, is he going to start something with PvP? Because that would be insane, and then you could be, professional
He's
gamer.
Like, bringing fucking Blissey and Lapras and just like shitty light. That's like how Melissa plays. She's like, it's like, we'll go do a raid, and it's like, Melissa, are you bringing fucking Snorlax again? She's like, yep. She's like, fuck you. That's what I'm bringing. I like it. But well, it's the King IV. Nick from Trainer Tips, Zionic, they were all three, content creators that we've worked with here on the brand. We're just down in Buenos Aires, shoutcasting their giant tournament. They had like a 250 plus participant tournament that ran like all day, and it was fucking awesome. I was at work. I watched the whole thing, and the amount of knowledge that these guys have in that space, it's super, it's very refreshing. And it's also like, when I'm watching it, it's like I'm looking at it like the Matrix. It's like, oh man, this is the future. I can see where this could go. I see where this is, how this is, what this can become. And these guys are kind of leading the charge. So yeah, I'm a firm believer that there's definitely some significant opportunity for entertainment value as a spectator thing in this esports world. Now, breaking into IRL spectation, like that's a whole nother ball game. But as far as watching it on TV or watching it on Twitch or wherever, I think there's definite potential. So yeah,
I love watching the TCG on Twitch. When big regionals do streams, like I absolutely love that.
And the game itself, it's not like you're watching explosions and shit, crazy shit happening, headshots and stuff. You're watching people turn cards over. It's the commentary and the depth of coverage. And I think that's where people will start falling in love with PvP, because again, the mechanics are are bullshit basic, you know what I mean? But the depth of gameplay is really where you need that color commentary. You need that person that really knows their shit talking about it to make sense of it all, for not just the layman, but even for the, you know, the person that's hardcore about it. They want to know that stuff. So lots of potential there.
Yeah, anything strategy based definitely, as you mentioned, needs to be broken down and explained to make it not just understandable to the viewer, but also more enjoyable. I completely agree with that. Absolutely.
Awesome. Now, as we wrap up here, what are your goals for your brand at large? I mean, I'm sure you're going to continue on both platforms, but where do you see yourself going? And I'm sure you'll be at GoFest this summer.
Absolutely. Yeah, definitely going to be at GoFest. I'm going to be there every day, and as long as they don't have fences around the place, I'll be in there every day.
Awesome.
What I would like to do, I don't know, it's kind of my brand. Obviously keep, as you said, building it up, but always keeping ideas open. I don't necessarily have to stay with Pokemon for my entire content career. I don't even know if that would be possible or feasible, because as far as I know, we're getting Gen 8 soon, and then what? Question mark, you know?
Sure.
I don't really... I like to have, you know, a 2-year plan, 5-year plan, and question marks. That's not helping me. So I'm always open to new games, not even necessarily just games. I might want to go back to school eventually and start pursuing some sort of like communications or something like that. But I think I've gotten a really good foundation from content creation and live streaming, and it's created a lot of opportunities on top of that, being in a very new field of work. You know, 10, 15 years ago, whoever said that they made a living being a live streamer or a content creator? Pretty much nobody.
Exactly.
You know, so
Right.
Things are changing very fast. So it's kind of hard to say, but I mean, I'm definitely open to a lot of opportunities and possibilities.
Awesome, man. Well, Dave, thank you so very much for coming on the show, man. I really appreciate it. I learned a shit ton, and I feel fired up, man. It's like I want to go down a rabbit hole of finding gear and get out there and fucking start streaming. Like it's very motivate. You know, the motivation is real right now. So thank you so much for coming on, man.
Well, Dave, you could always start a podcast.
Yeah.
I mean,
hey, communications, long form audio, dude. It's the real deal.
No, seriously, it's so much fun. It really is.
I'm all open to it, man.
Well, where can our community find you, man? Where's the best place we should send people if they want to check out your stuff?
If you guys want to check out my stuff, you can check it out at twitch.tv/PopeDave, or you could check out my Twitter. It's my main social media upload, twitter.com/PopeDave8 or at PopeDave8 on Twitter.
Awesome, man. Thank you so much again for coming on. I will put the link in the description to everywhere you can find Pope Dave, and we'll definitely be hooking up out at GoFest. We'll make sure that we knock one back for good times when we're out there in Chicago, man.
Absolutely. Brewskis all around.
Hells yes. All right, man. Thanks again for coming on, and everyone else, we'll be back right after this.
Hold up, everyone. Are you ready for a sing-along? Slow poking a reggae style. Pokemon. Come in. Slow. What your story is slow.
And we're back from our break. Thank you guys so much for that. Hey, Melissa's here.
Hi.
Welcome.
She made it. She made it.
Feeling a little bit better.
Yeah, special thanks to Pope Dave. Cool fucking dude, man.
I'm bummed I missed out on that.
Yeah, we're going to have beers at GoFest.
Oh, cool.
Beers at GoFest.
Yay, exciting.
Yes, I don't drink beer, but I'm going to have a beer at
I will
GoFest.
have one for you.
I'm going to have a beer flavored.
I'll have one for you and one for me.
I want a Shirley Temple.
We can get you the Shirley Temple.
I'll get
with
a
extra
little,
cherries.
Extra grenadine.
Extra cherries.
All right, there's a shitload of news to cover this week. We're continuing this trend of just doing this on a Google Hangout. So again, if the audio sounds a little bit different than normal, that's why. But today's actually the day after the recording with Pope Dave. That's how we have Melissa with us.
Mm-hmm.
So I broke the magic a little bit, but that way we can still get this out on time as one and not have to split it up into two parts. So this will still come out on time, and that's how we're doing it. We'll get back to regular production quality level, broadcast level next week.
They don't care about the quality.
Broadcast quality.
They care about the content quality.
Fuck that. I do. I don't
know
miss
you
not.
do.
I don't miss not editing for 5-6 hours this week.
Ken,
but I mean,
it's content. People need to hear us.
They just need us.
They are begging for our voices. We have to put it in their ear holes.
Is that what they do?
It's our stunning personalities.
Is that what it is? They actually do that.
Yeah, we've got big personalities.
Uh-huh.
All right, let's get caught
Wink,
up
wink.
with Torchic Community Day. This is coming from PokemonGoHub.net. This was 2 days ago, Sunday, May 19th, 3 to 6 p.m. local time. We had 3-hour lures, including the new ones that we'll talk about in a minute. We hope your community actually managed the new lures correctly on Community Day. We also had Triple Stardust. We had an exclusive move for Blaziken Blast Burn. This is kind of took everyone by surprise. We were expecting Blaze Kick to be the exclusive move. It, in fact, was Blast Burn. I think that Niantic kind of flubbed the messaging when they started releasing this info out on social media, because everyone was flipping out that it wasn't Blaze Kick. And then on Twitter, it was in 2 different posts. A second post came like 10 minutes later saying, hey, but you could still TM to Blaze Kick starting at Community Day or later. But Blast Burn is the exclusive move. People were confused. On Facebook, it was in one post. It was a little messy. But the way it works, Blast Burn was the exclusive move when you evolved during that Community Day window up to an hour after. Blast Burn brings Blaziken up to number 3 in fire DPS. It's a little weird. Moltres is still really the way to go, especially when you could benefit from flying defense, but it makes it viable. And then Blaze Kick you can TM into and makes it a little bit more viable on the PvE side or on the PvP side, but they nerfed it in PvE. It used to be 50 damage. They nerfed it down to 45 damage. Kind of weird. I don't know why they did that, but if you're using PvP, if you're playing in PvP and you run a double fire setup with Blast Burn and Blaze Kick, based on TDO and based on time to get, knocked out, you might be able to get like 2 Blast Burns off and then squeeze in a Blaze Kick.
Wait. I thought Blaze Kick was a charge move.
It is a charge move, but you unlock the second move.
Yeah,
you have to spend that Stardust that you got from Community.
You got to spend
Day.
that. Yo, I fucking crushed it for Stardust on Community Day.
I did good too.
We had a great Community Day.
I was so good this time around. Like, you guys would be so proud.
90 degrees in New Jersey.
It was beautiful.
It was fucking
it was pretty hot.
No, it wasn't. It was perfect.
No, I was dying.
I loved it.
But what was cool about it was, we went family mode, so I had a very relaxed approach. I'm sure Melissa appreciated that.
I did.
We did it on foot. This was the first time that we did a Community Day on foot.
Fully on foot the whole time.
The whole time.
The whole time.
Well, we got
I still drove.
We got into Red Bank about 15 minutes late. So my eyelids were twitching, but I kept it cool, right? And we parked. We got some pizza. Melissa, how was your pizza?
Eating the pizza was banging. I was happy as hell. I was hungry.
There was more grease on that than
No, it wasn't.
No, it was good looking.
It looked
pizza.
really good. It was a chicken finger slice, right? So I had chicken, like pieces of chicken finger on the pizza with some ricotta cheese, and it looked banging, and it tasted banging, and I was good. So
three hours later.
We're good. We fueled up and we went for our Community Day, and it was. Ken got shiny like right off the bat. I was fine the whole time till the end of the day.
Yeah, we got our ritualistic surf taco in Red Bank at the end of the day.
I'm so jealous.
Like 15 minutes before the end of the day, Melissa's like, "Ooh, I'm not feeling so good. We got to get the fuck out of here."
I was just like, "Yeah, I think I'm done with Community Day at this point." But we had walked for hours. We had caught everything we had wanted.
No, it was cool. We hooked up with a group. There was people fucking everywhere. Torchic spawns seemed a little low.
Yeah.
And
I do agree with that.
Right. But I caught a couple, some really quick off the bat. Melissa and Josh back-to-back shinies.
Yeah.
For the first time.
For the first time. I got back-to-back shinies.
Listen, Chanel and I both got the same exact CP, same exact shiny Torchic 2 times, separate times.
Awesome.
We got the same exact one.
That's random as hell. That's really cool.
Right? And I'm like, that there's something going on there. That's strange.
But
it was 3-hour lures. It was Triple Stardust. The Triple Stardust, what I did was I had banked 100 research encounters. So I was able to run a star piece, and while we were eating at the end of the day, I cleared through my 100 stack and just fucking raked in the Stardust. And I'm just about at 6 million Stardust right now, which I'm very excited. It's the highest Stardust I've ever had.
6 million. Jesus, I don't even know.
And how many shinies did you guys catch?
I ended with 8.
I think I had 9.
What, you beat me?
I don't know. I'm about to look.
What?
I'm looking.
Did she just beat you?
I'm gonna look.
Bro, so we go into Surf
Maybe
Taco.
it was 7.
I get a shiny, right? As we're walking into Surf Taco, I lose service. So I'm like, fuck, I have the shiny on screen. Pokeball's just spinning and spinning and spinning. Let me go outside, try to regain service. Nothing happens. I have to reboot the game. Lost my shiny. I would have had one additional shiny, and it just didn't work out. We actually both caught shinies within the last 10 minutes of the day.
We did. The last
good.
last 3 minutes I caught a shiny walking to the car.
Yeah, to the car, which was awesome.
That is cool.
What about you, Adam?
I got 14 in total.
Wow.
I got
And
9.
another person in my community, they got 25. I'm like,
25.
yeah, there's some black magic going on there.
Wow. No, there's usually some people in our groups that get like 20, but 25 is fucking insane. At that point, it's like, do you keep them all? You just trade them away, because like I'm like sitting on so many like community day shinies that it's.
I did some box maintenance and I definitely got rid of some community day shinies.
Wow.
I had to. And I'm like, okay, well, these ones have already been traded and they're not very good. So it's like there's no reason for me to hold on to them.
Yeah.
I can't retrade them and I don't want to power them up. So
Yeah.
to the meat grinder.
I
You
was so
chicken
good
nuggets.
this time around, you guys. You guys would have been so proud of me. I did like lucky eggs and star pieces the entire time.
She played.
I was like,
I forgot for a
actually
half
think-
hour.
and
I missed
and
one.
I caught a shiny Makahita.
full on.
Yes.
Yes.
So that was really awesome.
You need to
Fun.
evolve it
So
to a hairy mom.
technically- So,
I mean, a hairy yama.
Harry Mama.
A hairy mama? Hairy armpit? I don't know.
so
Whatever it is,
technically
it's
I
a hairy
caught
something.
10
10 shinies that day. Wow. Damn, you beat me. I think that's the first time ever when we've played together anyway.
Yeah, my mom
Maybe.
kept texting me. She's like, what else gets to be shiny? And I was like, Mom, anything that's already been released that's shiny can be shiny. And she goes, oh, well, I caught 3 already, and I'm just sitting at home. And I'm like, what? I've never caught a
That's
shiny
awesome.
sitting at my house.
Well, the last couple of community days that I played, I really didn't play, and I at least caught 1 or 2 at home or like.
Yeah, she
close
said
to
she
home.
did lucky eggs, incense, and star pieces.
The
So
other
she had
cool,
the full.
the other cool thing about this community day was the fact that the other lures were on, and seeing other Pokemon from the lures and then being able to do those evolutions was like super exciting.
It was fun. All right, we'll get to that in a minute. But Adam, all in all, good community day for you.
Yeah, I had a blast.
Melissa,
Yeah, it was fun.
it was good. It was good. I think
It was a clucking good time.
Oh,
What about the
God.
box though? The boxes.
They released the community day box early. I was like, sweet.
You guys are jumping the shark.
Oh, wait,
all
was I
right.
about
Did you
to have
did you
to say?
review the doc? Did you review the document? All
right,
right,
we're
it's
good.
in there.
I never
We're off the
had
rails
You guys are
already.
jumping
Let's
the-
get this
you're
train back
jumping
on
the shark,
track.
Okay. God.
All right. Let's talk about these
Ah.
new Sinnoh Pokemon.
All right. So this was actually really cool. We get events constantly. So it's always a barrage of events, but this was the first time in a while that we had a pretty significant game update. And one of the cool things about this update was it covered many different areas of the game. And let me break it down for you. We had almost all of the remaining Gen 4 Pokemon released, with the exception of what's left. Mime Jr., I think maybe one more. But we got Cherubi, Gibble, Hippopotas, Burmese are in there, all the different forms. Shellos is now available worldwide, actually with the, they actually split it with the prime meridian, east and western hemispheres. So all those Pokemon are out there in the wild. Fucking fantastic. Then the big one was, and we talked about this last week when Trowels found the assets for this with the different lures. So the lures did get released in the shop, 200 Pokecoins, and we had the Glacial, the Mossy, the Magnetic. So we kind of had an idea what was going on here. We had assumed that Glaceon was going to be able to be evolved. We had assumed that Leafeon. So all that shit came true. Glacial one, you could evolve Glaceon. Mossy, you can evolve Leafeon. Magnetic one, you could evolve Magnezone and Probopass. And you just have to be in range of the stop, close enough that you would be able to spin it. You don't have to spin it, but as long as you're in that range, you can. But in addition to being able to do those evolutions, it would spawn, the Glacial one would spawn Water and Ice. The Mossy one would spawn Bug, Grass, and Poison. And the Magnetic one would spawn Electric, Steel, and Rock. But not just your super common stuff. Like we had a Lairon spawn. We had like all types of really cool stuff. Yeah, Shieldon spawning. Like it was really, really cool. Now the problem was that it was fucking with Torchic spawns. So where your normal lures would increase your Torchic spawns to kind of enhance the community day thing, these lures would not spawn Torchic. So if your community fucked itself by putting up all these lures, it could actually hurt your level of Torchic spawns. Now, luckily, our community got ahead of this, and I go, look, we only need 3, one of each. And we've got, 40 stops in Red Bank, and our community actually listened to me. We only had one of each lure live, and the rest were standard lures the whole time.
And they were all at good spots where like you can stop.
It was spread out.
And
yeah, so that way we had, even if you were driving, we put them at the lights. So if you're at a red light, you could get your evolutions in.
You can still get your evolution in, yeah.
So it was very planned out. It was very calculated. It was
very convenient.
It was very convenient. It would be convenient. But no, and then in addition to the lures, a new ground move, Earth Power. Earth Power was released. This is gives you a 10% chance to proc lower opponent's defense by 1 stage. This is kind of like Ominous Wind, where 10% really isn't much in PvP. It's kind of hard to get it off. But Nidoqueen, Nidoking, Aerodactyl, Camerupt, Claydol can learn this. Claydol is actually really good in PvP. So, but what makes this good is when you look at something like the ground move Earthquake, that's a single bar charge move. And it's slow and it hits hard. Where Earth Power is a 2-bar charge move, little less damage, little less energy burn, but you can get it off a little bit faster. So again, if you're but if you're running that double move setup, that double ground move setup, you can maybe get that 3rd charge move off before getting knocked out, and again, still have that 10% chance to lower your opponent's defense. So we've got new Pokemon, new items, and a new move. It's a fucking awesome update. Really awesome. And what makes this really cool too is Gen 4 is kind of the time where the Gen 1 people started falling off. So these new Pokemon really feel like new Pokemon to a lot of people. Because it's not like, oh, it's Pikachu or Bulbasaur. Like these are Pokemon that you may not have any experience with.
I've never seen these new the cherry Pokemon. When I saw it for the first time, I was like, oh my God, you were the cutest thing I've ever seen in my life.
Yeah, that's what makes it exciting.
I can't. I love you. I want to eat you. And
so I was on my way home and I was like, whoa, the update dropped. If there's any shadows, silhouettes, I'm on top of that. No, seriously. And like I remember pulling off the side of the road, kind of like in the grass a little bit, and had to get out of my car. I just left it running, door open, anybody, just car running. Somebody could just steal it, whatever. Because I could see people on their phones, like out it was at night. It was like 10 o'clock at night, and there's people out with their phones.
That's great.
Standing in one spot. Great. And I'm like, this is 2016 all over again. Everybody's out. This is excellent. And that night I found like 2 of the shady, like cloudy, whatever. Cherum. Yep. And then I found a grass Burmy.
I just got my trash Burmy today. Still no.
Seen the trash one.
Okay. Wait, the trash one is out?
I've seen it, but I haven't been able to catch it because it's been out of my route.
Okay.
Right. And I'm like, I'm pressed for time to get it, and then during community day, I saw the sunny Cherum, and everybody was freaking out because I hadn't seen the little cherubi. The little cherries?
Yep.
They were like nowhere. I'm like, why wouldn't you give us the first form? I've seen these cherubs everywhere. Common. And so we found that, and like that was what the chat was blowing up about. Yeah. Not Torchics, nothing.
And I'm so dumb. When we first got to Red Bank and parked the car, my son goes, "Oh my God, Cherubi!" I didn't catch it. I don't know what I was
Dumbass.
thinking because where we had parked was where the first lure was. I was so excited to go get the Leafeon that I fucking missed it.
I
schmuck.
caught
And I
it.
still haven't seen it. So I haven't caught one yet. So and it's like, oh my God, it was right where
Are
we
you
parked.
kidding me?
No, I'm so mad. I totally blew it.
Dumbass.
You blew it.
I did. You blew it.
Yeah,
All right. Let's talk about this extraordinary raid week.
All right, Adam, take us through this. This was like a triple event that they announced, and there's a lot to unpack here. So why don't you
This
run
is
us
coming
through
from
the
PokemonGoLive.com. Like Ken said, we have 3 events in one. Extraordinary raid week. It's going to be Tuesday. So by the time you're hearing this, probably right now,
Yep.
Until Tuesday, the 28th of May. For stars number 1, we get Machop, Slackoth, Shanks, Bronzor. What's crazy about that is Bronzor is going to be shiny.
Yes, new shiny.
So this is crazy. This is when you put those magnetic lures down. You try to get Bronzor shiny, and you try to do as many Bronzor raids because you want that shiny. I want that shiny. I want to be the first person to get that shiny. Well, I technically can't because somebody else will get it and post it online or whatever. Blah, 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 blah. Okay, in 2-star raids, we've got Mischievous, Curlia, Mawile, Phoebus, Clamperl, and Bibai Barrel. This is the first time we're seeing Clamperl in raids, so this is going to be a good chance to redeem yourself and get some more shinies.
Yes.
Well, I didn't get one the first time around, so yeah.
Oh my God, you might have to actually get out there and do this. So Alolan Raichu is going to start us off for 3 stars. We also get Chansey returns,
Look,
Scyther,
Chansey, great.
Aerodactyl, and Floatzel.
What?
Yes.
You mean they're giving me so many reasons to go out and play.
I know.
Yeah, no, seriously.
Summer's here
I'm
and
excited
they're
for the
amping
Bibarel.
it up. I'm telling you. They're amping it up because they know summer's here and people will go outside and play
Yeah,
more. So
exactly.
they're
And then for 4 stars, we've got Alolan Marowak, Dragonite, Tyranitar, Absol, and Metagross.
No,
So
Dragonite is
Dragonite,
exciting.
yeah.
I know. I don't know. I don't think so. Not without Draco Meteor.
It's still fun. It's like we were talking about last week with Charizard. It's not that you need it. It's not that you're going to use it. It's just when you see it, it's
Yeah,
one
I
of
use
those
my dragon.
Yeah,
kind of get exciting. You know, you get excited. But the shiny Bronzor, I like that it's in tier 1 because it's exceptionally accessible for people. So you can
And
just
then
get out there and do it.
From every raid, we're going to get ×2 raid Stardust and ×2 raid experience points.
Yeah.
So get out and go, people.
Yeah, put a lucky egg on.
Yo.
And this is for a whole week, 21st to 28th. So
I may actually be able to
You may
hit level,
hit level 40.
38.
You can do this.
No,
We believe
38?
in you.
No, I think I may be able to hit 38 by the next week if I actually go out and play.
well, the benefit too
Close.
is we have the 2 gyms like a stone's throw from our house. So if you see a tier 1 or tier 2, you can just go solo it.
Yes.
And get your Clam Pearl and a lot of chance at
I know.
shinies and
Yeah,
Okay.
Clamperl and Bronzor. Don't be afraid. Just go.
I'm just gonna go.
Get out the door.
all right, Adam. What about the second
All right.
second
all
part?
right,
of
so
triple-
second part, raid hour. We get an actual announced one. It's gonna be Wednesday the 22nd, 6 to 7 p.m. local time. Increased number of all raid stars.
I'd
So,
imagine that Bronzor will probably have there's going to be a
big
lot of
presence.
those. Yeah, I mean,
Yeah, so they're just basically going to spawn a whole bunch, so every single gym will be lit up, except for probably EX ones. So,
but all mixed types. So it's not like the legendary dinner hour where you're going to have all Giratina raids or all of one type because people get burned out on that. This will give you a full range of all these new raid bosses. And we're going to skip the battle party this week because none of this stuff is.
Womp.
Yeah, we'll wait to get some time behind the wheel, and we'll potentially talk about these later. But we did our Charizard battle party last week. We forgot to do the fucking jingle.
How
We blew it. We totally
dare
blew it.
us?
Yeah, but I said we had to do a double one. So like,
Well, nope.
Do we
I
just-
have a very
Wow.
special one that
You
we'll get
do?
to at the end of the show. So
Oh,
we'll leave it. We'll
okay.
leave it at that. Leave it at that. But
Okay.
yeah, so we got new raid bosses. We've got the raid
Raid
hour
day.
on Wednesday, and then
get
at
this.
Look at this. Look.
What?
Saturday the 25th from 11 to 2 p.m. local
Uh-huh.
time, we will be able to raid Lapras.
Shiny Lapras back in raids.
Shiny Lapras, and it's going to have legacy movesets.
Yep. Yes.
My
And
shiny
you get
Lapras.
5 free raid passes.
Oh
from gyms. So again, Melissa, there's no excuse. Just go do it.
Oh my God. Okay.
No,
I need
this.
it.
I love the idea and the concept behind
my
this.
God.
It's very inclusive. It's not just legendary raids. It's raids for everybody. I just love. I think this was a fantastic idea. The social media push has been great on it, and I don't know, man. It's just even tier 4 Metagross back in raids, fantastic. You know what I mean? It's like I just love everything about this. I love that they're giving people different times of the day, different things to do. Oh, Asia Pacific happens Sunday the 26th from 11 to 2. So Americas, Greenland, Europe, Middle East, Africa, and India, that's the Saturday the 25th, 11 to 2. But the 5 free raid passes, can't go wrong there. And I think this is going to be like where you spin gyms. So you spin at gyms and you'll get your passes, 5 different gyms, but you have to use them to earn them. So it's not like you just bank them.
Use it or you'll lose it.
Use it or lose it, baby.
But I really, really like this, and the fact that Shiny Lapras is back. They took it away from research task. So now that it's back, it's great. Now here's a little interesting tidbit, and I want to know if anyone else thinks this is odd. So last week they made the announcement with the update. Hey everyone, you can delete your raid passes now, because what happened was people have been buying these boxes every freaking week, stocking up on raid passes, and they end up with 150 raid passes, and they're like, it's taking up my space, I'll never use them, I want to delete them. So they announce it, people delete their raid passes the next week. Hey guys, raids all fucking week. Yo, Niantic is smart.
Yes.
What a slap in the face.
Dude, he's like, why I oughta that, like, what, you know what I'm saying? Like,
well, that's like the lures. They give them to you. They're like, here, pay $2 for each lure, but if you wait long enough, like everything in this game, they'll just give it to you. I mean, you'll have to do the special research tasks and all that stuff.
It's
but
coming in research later, but
if you want it now.
That's all.
Yeah.
They're just trying to make us happy. They
Yeah.
gave us what we wanted, right? It's not our fault.
No.
It's not their fault that
I just think it's overly ironic that they let you delete your raid passes. They make an announcement out of it. They make a great news, Niantic support tweet. Great news, everyone. I know you just paid for it, but just throw that money away. You can delete it now. And then, oh yeah, by the way, next week we're going to throw a whole bunch of fucking raids at you, and you're going to need those raid passes you just deleted, but great news, they're on sale. You know what I mean? Like,
but hey, here's 5 extra ones.
yeah.
Just in case you need
put a
them.
little bow on it.
I just thought it was exceptionally ironic. I don't know. I don't know if anyone feels the same way. Let us know, because just very, very ironic.
See, I would be salty about it if it was an issue for me with like bag space and stuff like that.
Did you buy it? Did you? She spent money.
What?
You did it. She did it. She didn't tell me. She was talking about it. She's like, I think I'm going to have to spend money. Well, we're on the way to community day. And she's like, I've got no bag space. I got to spend money. She was like, this internal conflict. And I didn't even know if you did, but
I did.
Yes.
I did. You know why?
Let the hate flow through
I
you.
did, because I had literally no bag space and no Pokemon storage. So I was just like, fuck. And I needed incubators. So I caved. I spent money.
That's good.
And I got what I
gotta
needed.
get that the bag space and the storage space.
I can still upgrade both of them like 5 more times.
Yo, but you put some Pokemon in gyms. You should have some payouts coming to you.
I just got 50 coins from a whale.
Hell yeah.
I snaked in a gym on a drive-by.
There you go.
Yeah, the drive-bys. Melissa's is getting good at the drive-by snipe.
Yeah,
She's like, oh shit, I got him in.
I can't spin a Pokestop when I'm standing directly in front of it, but I could drop a guy in a gym doing 35 miles an hour down the main road.
Right. So good. All right, we got a couple emails I want to run through really quick. First one from Chris Dad says, hi, Ken, Adam, Melissa. I enjoy listening to you every week. It's a great podcast, chock full of good info. My son and I just got tickets to GoFest. Congratulations. And we need some help to get ready. I have no idea what to expect, what to bring, how to prepare. He is at level 31. I'm at level 34. How? Many thanks. Chris Dad. All right. Stock up on balls. That's like the number one thing.
Lots of balls.
You need lots and lots of balls.
Max your bag space and get lots of balls. Delete all your potions, not your max potions, but every other potion. And delete regular revives. Keep only max revives.
Yeah, I mean, as far as in-game preparation, it's the balls, because there's going to be plenty of stops. but the volume of spawns is so overwhelming that, especially if you're going to be go plussing, like you're going to end up ripping through the balls really, really quick. So that in game, that's definitely the way to go. Make sure you max out your bags, max out your storage, and stock up on as many balls as you possibly can. What I did for Community Day, and what I'll probably do prior to GoFest, is I got my great balls up to 600. And I went into Community Day with less than 100 Pokeballs. So I was like dying to get through my Pokeballs, so that way when I fast catch, it would default to the great balls. And I had a higher chance of catching on the fast catch, and it just made it better. So that was my strategy. And I think I might do that going forward. When I restock, if I have the time, completely just trash my Pokeballs and build up that stock of great balls and ultra balls. So that way, I mean, it doesn't work for Go Plus, obviously, but if you're doing the fast catch technique, it's a game changer because you just have that much more of a chance of catching, better percentage, because you're using a great ball by default rather than a Pokeball. Outside of the game, extra socks, extra underwear, umbrella, poncho, things like that, snacks,
Power banks,
hella snacks. If you're like me and if you like think about walking, you start sweating profusely, you're going to want to bring like, a sweat rag, which or
gross.
a cool towel.
Yeah,
the cool towel is awesome. It's almost like one of those synthetic
plenty
chamois.
of water.
Yes, stay hydrated.
And then, like protein bars, stuff to keep you energized.
Yes,
because you're going to want to keep going. You don't really want to sit and not be catching Pokemon.
Well, we still don't know if the park is going to be fenced off or not. So if it's a matter of like it being a little bit of a pain in the ass to get in and out of the park, that then you're going to want to prepare. And again, they have the whole rule set up online of you got to bring a clear book bag and you can't bring this, you can't bring that. I don't know if they're going to enforce that because they definitely did not enforce it last year. But that could make things a little bit more complicated. You can bring sealed drinks, I believe, so you can bring sealed bottles of water. You can't bring like a Poland Spring bottle filled with vodka. It has to be sealed. But that's really it. Your normal stuff if you're doing like a hiking outing or something like that. But poncho is probably
I'd
one
say
that's
go,
important.
minimal as possible, like poncho and flip-flops, bottle of water, and some sort of protein snack that'll keep you at least energized, not something salty or something sweet,
Yeah.
Make sure you get something that'll like keep you energized as you're walking, because it's a lot of walking. You don't know what the temperature is going to be like. It's probably going to be hot.
And you also
June.
And you also mentioned your levels, 31 and 34. So if you're worried about where you're at level wise, take advantage of this raid week. Get out there and raid.
Yeah. Well, and are they going to have raids at GoFest, like in the park? Like,
yeah, we don't
didn't-
know.
yeah.
So it's like, will those raid passes be useful? Probably.
man, I hope they do, but like we talked about actually, when we get to the miscellaneous news, we're going to talk about the Yokohama event. There was 2 million trainers at the event last year.
Oh my God.
2 million it was over a week, granted, but when you look at an event like GoFest where there might be 20,000 trainers at once versus, 2 million, and they were raiding like motherfuckers over there. So it's like, I really hope that we'll be able to have some raids, because that vibe, that excitement is pretty cool when, you're at scale like that, at volume. But, oh man, I'm excited. Friday night, come to the meetup. Monk's Pub. Come to the meetup. It's family friendly. They have a great menu.
Cheese curds.
Yo, cheese curds, son.
The place
I
is
wonder if
family
they're
friendly.
vegetarian. or like-
I wouldn't say our group is going to be family friendly though. So
Terry Wolf's
I wouldn't bring your
Cub.
kids
Oh, so we were going to
wouldn't bring
record
your
the back
kids.
half of the show last night with Melissa. She wasn't feeling well, so we didn't. Terry Wolf was tuned up and ready to go. I had to tell him. He goes, "It's okay. I only got buzzed."
Our boy.
Oh, I can't wait. I can't freaking wait. Oh, and really quick, I'll plug this while we're here. BPL Official, this is a group from Toronto that does PvP, will be coming to our meetup at Monks. They have a full PC, dual camera, dual capture card streaming setup. They're going to be professionally streaming our PvP tournament from the event.
That's awesome.
Their setup is fucking legit.
Oh, that is so fun.
It's legit. So if you guys want to come out, you want to get some PvP action, I already have the tournament built on self.gg. you let me know. I'll send you the link, and we'll get it going because it's going to be streamed. It's going to be a lot of fun, and these guys are doing really cool stuff out in Toronto, and I definitely want to promote them. So I'll put a link in the description to what they're doing, and I watched their Nightmare Cup that they were streaming last week, and it was absolutely awesome. Totally professional, full screen capture, full face cams, really, really well done. Broadcast quality, super awesome. So I'm really excited that they're going to be coming out.
That's awesome.
Oh, I can't wait.
Yep. All right, we got another email. This one from Donk.
Oh, hey, Donk.
It says, hi, is there any way to download your Lured Up podcast as an audio file, like an MP3? I can't find any way. Thanks. So this is an interesting one. So when it comes to YouTube, you can get our shows on YouTube. If you have YouTube Red, you can download this stuff offline. So that's one way. On Apple Podcasts, you can download this stuff to the cloud. You can download it to your device. There should be a little plus symbol or the little cloud with the arrow symbol on Apple Podcast. I'm pretty sure Android has the same thing. So there are methods. Whatever way you're listening to the podcast, whether it's on Android or one of these third-party podcatchers, just Google it. Because
there's also like this wicked sketchy site that's like YouTube to MP3. That'll probably give your computer a virus, but I use that all the time.
Is that why your shit's always fucked up?
That's why I'm always laggy.
But yeah, there definitely is ways out there. Spotify, our podcasts are up on Spotify also, and I know Spotify has an offline mode if you're a member. But yeah, just Google it along with the method that you're listening, because there definitely is ways, and I know for Apple Podcasts, you can definitely do that. So worst case scenario, you can't find it, you let me know. I'll shoot you an email with the MP3 of the episodes. It's all good. All right, I want to get into a voicemail. This is a departure. It's not a drunk voicemail from Terry.
Oh.
It's not a drunk voicemail from Chicken Shit.
Okay.
This one, in fact, is a wholesome, family-friendly voicemail from Jessica.
Aw.
Oh, yeah, and again, at the top of the show, another shout-out to Jessica for being the first member of our Elite Four Patreon tier.
That gets a whoop whoop.
Which is amazing.
Yeah.
Whoop,
So
whoop,
she shoots me a message on
whoop,
Discord and says, hey, I'm going to leave you a voicemail. Don't pick up. And I'll let it do its talking. It is the fucking cutest thing ever. Here we go.
Hey guys, it's Jessica. I told Ken that my kids are wanting to call in and do the battle party. Whoop, whoop. So we've left for school a little bit early to Pokemon hunt and get some donuts. And so I'm going to try and get them to do it. So hang on just a second. I got Kieran age 7, Ren age 5, Simon age 3, and all of them play Pokemon. You guys, when I say 1, 2, 3, we're going to do it, okay? 1, 2, 3. Battle party. Woo, woo. Battle party. Woo, woo. There you go. It's probably the best it's going to get. So thank you very much. Everybody have a good day. Bye.
Aw.
Oh, that is fantastic.
That's the coolest
That
fucking
is the
thing ever,
cutest
Jessica.
thing ever.
Thank you so much.
rock.
That
Oh
is
my
so
God.
awesome. Your kids are
Oh my
awesome.
God, your
This-
little friend.
I know, you hear the little
The
voices.
little voices. Whoop, whoop.
I know my son, every time he's like, oh, you got a podcast? And I'm like, yeah, bud. So I might try to get him to say battle party, because that would be wicked
The
cute.
cutest thing. Jessica,
Aw,
that was
thank
so
you so much
awesome.
for that.
Yeah, warmed the hearts for
And
sure.
they got donuts.
oh, donuts
Yeah.
are good.
They got donuts.
Big
Good
smiles
mama.
on my face.
Yo, Dunkin' Donuts, old fashioned. I want an old fashioned
Dunkin'
donut.
Donuts hooked Josh up today.
Yeah,
He-
Josh got a 2-for-1.
Yeah, he got a 2-for-1.
Strawberry frosted, no sprinkles.
No sprinkles.
Ooh.
All right, so let's jump into miscellaneous news. We have a lot of miscellaneous news here, a ton actually, and I'm going to run through it pretty fast. We do have a new box sale that's going on right now. Melissa it was funny because she spent some money, so she was like faced with what do I do, what do I buy, and she's looking at the boxes, and you were fucking torn.
I was.
You're like, why isn't there this in this box? Why isn't there that in this box? Like,
well,
it was the
I
funniest
just
shit.
think Niantic. They're smart fuckers. Just like they did with the goddamn deleting your raid passes. They fucking played us with these goddamn lures. Like they made these boxes and they put lures in them, but they didn't give you the special lures. Why?
Oh, and then
Why?
you're like, why is there regular incubators? Who wants regular incubators?
Stupid.
All right, but we got the same
Smart.
setup, special grade ultra plus the adventure box. The discount levels weren't as great as we've seen, but again, let's hold back our expectations here. We got like a 55% off sale. But the cool thing, The Ultra Box, 20 raid passes. Fucking
20?
awesome. 20
Did
raid
you say
passes.
2-0?
2-0. So that's like you could knock out your Lapras day, you know, right there. 20 raid passes plus the 5 free ones. Fucking awesome. But the cool thing, Adventure Box. This one's a little bit more up my speed. 13 super incubators, 5-star pieces, 4 regular incubators, 4 regular lure modules. I'm all about the incubators right now. Like, I don't need any more raid passes. I still think they need to let us have an a la carte sale where instead of having to go through these boxes and buy the unwanted stuff and then have to delete stuff that you've paid for, even though it's smart on Niantic's behalf, I want to be able to build my own box or build my own individual stuff and say, I want raid passes or I want lucky eggs, I want incense, because there's never a box that contains everything exactly that I want, and I want it now.
But guess what? Guess what? They're not making boxes for a la carte because you can buy the shit a la carte.
But at full pop, though. But at full pop.
Exactly.
That's bullshit.
No, that's not
bullshit. If they're
bullshit.
going to do a sale...
They're giving you a sale. Stop being a greedy fucker.
Hey, there's a discount if you buy multiple lucky eggs.
Not only are they giving you the sale, they're giving you 2 different types of sales.
Yeah, well, that is the nice thing. That is.
I wind up buying the adventure box.
That's the way to go. The incubators are legit. If you get the adventure box, you can hatch 51 eggs. 51 eggs total. It's the greatest thing. Oh, Adam is laughing because our dog is belly up right now in the background of the camera. So cute. But yeah, you can hatch 51 eggs from the adventure box. That's legit. That's serious. Like $14.80. You know what I mean? Like, so it's not crazy. $15. Little man, put that shit in my head. Nooch. But they give you options, so I do like that. But yeah, new boxes are in the store. Spend your money. Okay, next, Long Night at the Museum's mini event. This happened on Saturday the 18th in Hamburg, Germany. Really cool event. Hamburger. You ever see that Steve Martin's Pink Panther, that hamburger scene? Bro, fucking hilarious. Hamburger. But yeah, it was the 18th. What they did was they added temporary Pokestops to over 50 museums in Germany.
Why don't they do this all the time? Great event.
Great concept. I love these little micro events like this, and I think that if they did something like this in the States, it would be very successful. In like historic places, like when they did the Charleston event, they did something similar. But if they did like Philadelphia, where at all these historical places they put temporary stops, it's a great motivation and great incentive to actually get out there and explore. I hope they continue to do this. They gave people 4-hour lures, double Stardust, and Finneon spawn increased, which I don't know the relevance of Finneon, but pretty cool event. Oh, Detective Pikachu grossed $58 million in domestic box office. It was the new record for video game movies. The best video game movie opening of all time. It beat out Lara Croft Tomb Raider by $10 million. They are making a sequel.
No.
Yeah, I've already seen it twice.
No.
Why? What do you mean no? See, look, I only say no to this because I want a full blown adventure. I don't want Detective Pikachu. I want a red or blue story.
There's so much I want to say, but we're not spoiling. We're still not doing spoilers.
No, we got to do a spoiler cast. It's next week. I think it's clear, the all clear. But. Really, you don't want a sequel, but I mean, as long as they get Ryan Reynolds and
because they're gonna fuck it up.
Oh man,
they're gonna fuck it up. They're gonna fuck up the
Nancy
story
over here. Jeez Louise.
Unless they make it unless they focus on Pokemon battling, I don't want to see it.
Yeah,
I think she's just mad because there's only a little bit of Snorlax.
I'm happy with that little bit of Snorlax.
There was no Delibird, so I mean,
I know
the movie could have been.
I think in total there was 58 different Pokemon in Detective Pikachu.
Still had more fun looking in the background than I did watching the movie.
Yeah, my raid group they were like when the beginning opening, it's like you see Buffalont and they're like, oh, Tauros, and I'm like, that's not Tauros.
Noobs.
That's great. No, I think I'm very confident in what they do. I of course you don't want them to blow it, but it's making money, and I think it's up to like over 200 million worldwide. It had $150 million budget, which is fucking massive, by the way. But yeah, absolutely profitable. And historically, Pokemon movies do much better on DVD and Blu-ray than box office. So when this thing hits Blu-ray and DVD, I know it's going to do fucking huge. I'm sure it'll be out for the holiday, and it'll be, serious stocking stuffer. I'm sure it'll have a ton of sales come the holiday. All right, Ingress Prime Scanner. There's a new scanner for portal submissions in Ingress. This has a big effect on Pokemon Go. Melissa's giving me the what the fuck face because, Project Moose, we got this thing approved based in the way that this got entered into Ingress was through the old scanner system. Now they have a brand new Ingress Prime global scanner. It makes it a little bit more accessible. You still have to be level 10 in Ingress, but it replaces the original scanner they had. I have a feeling over the next couple months, we're going to see an influx of new stops and gyms in Pokemon Go. That's why you need Pokemon Go trainers to get over to Ingress so they can manipulate and manage this properly based on the S2 cells to know where and who and when and how to place Pokestop submissions. So that way you're maximizing every single S2 cell in your neighborhood to get the maximum amount of gyms and stops possible. Hard stop.
I'm sorry.
Next. Oh, we talked about last week. Look, miscellaneous news section, rapid fire, son. Okay. Look, Pokemon Rumble Rush. This is a new mobile game that's released right now in Australia. It should be out any day now in the States or worldwide for that matter. This is not to be confused with the game that's going to be developed by DNA that did the Fire Emblem Heroes and Mario Kart, the mobile. This was developed by Umbrella. Umbrella is the company that's made every previous Rumble game. They also did like Pokemon Channel, Pokemon Dash, Hey You Pikachu back on N64 with the mic.
Mm-hmm. That was a fantastic game.
They've got a ton of they have a ton of experience with the Rumble franchise. I'm really excited to play this. I watched a Abdallah Smash video of gameplay, and I think it looks great. Adam, not so excited?
I don't know. Like I said in our Gotta Watch Them All, it's almost as if they took Pokemon Go and were like, can we make this map work with Pokemon Rumble? Like, I don't know. It's weird.
It looks like the game is on rails a bit, like where you have limited control of the Pokemon, and it's just like a tap fest, but it looks colorful and fun and exciting. I'm pretty excited about it.
Can you get excited about anything?
Captain Optimism, baby. Keep it positive. Keep it moving. All right, let's go to Go Ranger check-in real quick. All right, this is your last day by the time you hear this for the Go Create Challenge. By the way, we did our AR photo roundtable on YouTube the other night. That's going to be out in a couple days.
And I was a part of it.
Adam joined us.
Aww.
It was great. Really, really cool guys. It was amazing because we had a full international panel. We had people from Mexico. We had Belgium. We had people from the States. It was really, really cool and a lot of fun. So check that out on our YouTube channel, and it'll be out in audio format later this week. Also, the Lake Trio, this is your last week to do that. So if you missed, Azelf, Mesprit, or Uxie, now's your chance. Do it now before they go away.
Tinfoil hat speculation. What's coming next?
I have no idea.
Who knows, man? I think they're gonna be bringing something older back.
The legendary dogs.
What about the armored
Reggies.
Mewtwo? The armored Mewtwo from Mewtwo Strikes Back.
Well, when does the movie come out?
It comes out in July in Japan, probably November as a Fathom event for us. But
okay, so not till
Korokoro in Japan released the images of armored Mewtwo, which look fucking bizarre. It looks straight out of like a hardcore Gundam anime. It's really weird looking. But I don't know.
I Transformer.
I think that I think they're going to recycle.
Really
No, they're going to recycle something. I'd imagine. I think that they're going to bring something back.
Probably the legendary birds. We haven't seen those except for in the box.
I don't know, man. I don't know. I would want something new. I don't know. That's a good question. I don't know what it could be.
They got to keep it going with the new stuff. It's summer.
Yeah.
Something new.
Summer of Go.
Maybe we get we get like Palkia back or something like that, or maybe we get our shiny Rayquaza.
Mm.
I've been down for shiny Rayquaza, bro.
Yeah,
because it's hot out. Ooh.
I take that.
Because it's hot out.
It's hot.
For me to poop on. All right, that's the end of the miscellaneous news, and also the end of the show.
Oh,
we did it.
We did another one.
We did it. That was Josh on Community Day because he was catching all these shinies and he's just going, another one.
And
Another one.
And another one bites dust.
But guys, thank you so much for checking us out. Again, did this recording a little bit different through Google Hangout, single track, very limited post-production. So if the audio sounds a little bit different than it normally does, please excuse that. It'll be back to normal next week. Please check out luredup.com for everything that we're doing. Email us, info@luredup.com. You can leave us a voicemail, inappropriate or family-friendly, at 732-835-8639. That's 732-835-8639. Leave us a review in Apple Podcasts, please. It would be a great help. We would greatly appreciate it. And other than that,
And it's free. It doesn't cost any money to do that. It just
an
helps
effort.
people find us.
Don't let your dreams be dreams. Just do it. Yesterday, you said tomorrow. All right, guys. Thank you again. Keep training, trainers. We'll see everybody next week.